Welcome back to another reharmonization video where we're going to take the song A River Flows in You. I don't know, apparently it's a thing. I got a lot of students who have come in asking to learn it, and it's basically the same 4 chords over and over, and then just variations on that in the right hand, a lot like canon in D would be, but this is canon in F sharp. Actually, it's not. It's a canon in A, so we're going to be in the key of A, which means we're going to use all of those notes right there. So these are the main notes, and basically just loops F sharp minor. It's these 4 chords up here. F sharp minor to D to A to E. And it's pretty much the whole song. The melody goes like this. I got a recording of the melody here so we can reharm underneath the melody. So I'm going to play the left hand for what would usually be this. Stuff like that in there. So here are those left hand chords underneath the melody. This is what we're starting out with in case you haven't heard this song before. So one of the very first things that we can do is just block the chords out. So we're playing them like that. Now this, again, if you're really in love with the song, you might not want to watch the rest of this video because we're going to mess it up pretty bad. But we're going to do that. We're also going to add 7s and 9s to all these. Now, in almost every case, the 9 of the chord is going to be the same as the 2 of the chord. And that just means we're going to take the root of the chord. When we play that F sharp minor, instead of playing that F sharp here, we're going to go up 2 half steps or 1 whole step. That's almost always the 9, unless you run into a chord where it specifically says flat 9, and then you only go up a half step from the root of the chord. So that's almost always going to be up a whole step, and already this thing is starting to sound a little bit different from what it was before. And then we can also add in the 7s of these. Now, if you're already familiar with A and B voicings, cool, just play your A and B voicings here. That will include the 7s and the 9s. So the 7 is going to be, in the case of F sharp, it's going to be 1 whole step down. Now, the reason, the way we pick these notes, the 7s and the 9s, in most cases, is according to the scale. So again, like I said at the beginning, we've got the key of A. So if we've got these notes right here, and we've got this chord right here, I want to put a note on either side of this root. To the left is going to be the 7, to the right is going to be the 9, because, this is probably important, because this is the 8. If we started here and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this would be back to the 1 of the chord or the 8 of the chord. So if this is the 8 of the chord, which is also the 1 of the chord, if you play it down here, the 1 and the 8 are the same. The 7 and the 9 would be on both sides of the 8 because of the whole 7, 8, 9 thing in numbers. So this right here is like an F sharp minor without the F sharp. Now if I play the F sharp down here, now I've got what could be considered a B voicing for an F sharp minor. We've got a 7 and a 9 here. And for the rest of the chords, I'm just going to follow whatever the key says I should be playing. So I've got a D chord. I'm going to play the note on both sides, the 7 and the 9. In this case, the 7, the note just to the left, is going to be only a half step down because, again, in the key of A, I'd have a C sharp. So if I want to take this note out, those are my next 2 closest scale tones from the key of A. The A is going to be also we're in the key of A, so it's going to be those notes right there. Those are the 2 closest notes that are taken from the key of A. And then my E would be this. I'm going to play the note that is closest on both sides. It'd be that. So now I've got 7s and 9s in here for every single chord. Now I can play that, and that, and that, and that. And just by adding in 7s and 9s, I haven't even reharmonized really. I haven't changed any of the chords. I haven't substituted at all. This is just adding in 7s and 9s, other color tones into the chords. And then once I start playing them in inversions, then I come up with that wasn't very many inversions. So I could play F sharp minor, it's the same exact notes, just in a different version, mixing up the order of the notes, but still a E and a G sharp and an A and a C sharp. So I can play those anywhere I want. All the same exact notes, just in different orders. So I really haven't changed anything. This song is just like this, exactly what we have, only now I've added in 7s and 9s. And so it's probably time to start doing some harmonic substitutions here. So what the first thing we can do is add 2 5s or 6 2 5s or 3 6 2 5s before the chord. So you're going to want this chart down here, unless you already know your 2 5s, in which case, what are you doing here? Just go 2 5 everything. That's the first step, but maybe you want some other ideas. So we'll go in here and go to our circle of fifths. This is what we're going to use to find the 2s and the 5s of each of these chords. So if we wanted to, for example, right here before this F sharp minor, if we wanted to say, let's pretend this whole thing, for this whole chunk right here, right up until the F sharp minor, we're going to treat F sharp minor like it is the one of the key, like we are in the key of F sharp minor. Let's pretend for just a second we'll have this little subworld of F sharp minorness. We want to play the 2 of F sharp minor to the 5 of F sharp minor and go into the F sharp minor. Now, if that's too much, just do the 5 to the 1 of F sharp minor. Again, we're not in the key of F sharp minor, we're in the key of A, but we're pretending here for just a second. So this is going to be the 1. The 5 of F sharp minor would be, if we go down here, let's go to this guy over here. We could use a circle of fifths and say F sharp, and the one that leads to the F sharp is the D flat, also known as a C sharp, leads into an F sharp. So we know for sure it's going to be a D flat, but if we check out our minor chords over here and we go to, because it's F sharp minor, that's the goal, is to get to F sharp minor, which is also known as G flat minor. Yes, but of course. Then we've got F sharp minor is the 1, the 2 is this one, and the 5 is 1 2 3 4 5, a C sharp. So we're going to play a C sharp as the 5 of F sharp minor, pretending like we're in the key of F sharp minor just for a second. So back up to here. We said C sharp, and to be more specific, a 7, because a 5 chord is always going to be a 7. Okay, cool. And here's the part where you could put in flat 9s and stuff, but we'll save all of that for later. The 5 of F sharp minor is C sharp 7, which sounds like that. And then we'll go into our F sharp minor after that. So C sharp to F sharp would sound something like this. Okay, cool. So you can hear how that kind of leads into that F sharp minor, makes that F sharp minor stand out a little bit more, gives it a little bit extra flavors there. So I'm adding C sharp 7s into all of the F sharp minor chords, treating the F sharp minor like 1. So like we already said before, and then we pulled out of that, we could call this a 2 over here and put in some chord right here to be a 2 to a 5 to a 1. Why? Because that's a whole other lesson. But 2 5 1 is a thing. 3 6 2 5 is a thing because it follows the circle of fifths, and we're not going to do a whole circle of fifths lesson here. But pretty much, if you've got this chord right here, G chord. Well, let's use the one that we already have. No, let's use a hypothetical one. We'll use a G chord. And so you can lead up to the G chord with pretty much as many of the lead up chords as you want. So we've got anything in this territory right here is all going to be great leading to each other going into that. So we've got the B is going to lead into the E, which is going to lead into the A, which is going to lead into the D, which would then lead into a G. And that sounded really cool. Really. That's just one possible arrangement of B, E, A, D, G that leads nicely into the G. Okay, that was all totally hypothetical. We have no G. That's not going to happen in our song. Let's go back to the actual one that we really have, which is F sharp minor. We're going to play a G sharp half diminished, which is going to lead us to the 5, because it's a 2-5, into the F sharp minor, which already sounds great. G sharp half diminished. We'll write that in, and then I'll show you how to play it. G sharp, half diminished. So this is G sharp. If we go up 3 half steps, we land right there. And if we go up 3 more half steps, 1, 2, 3, we have that. And then if we add in the half diminished part is, if this was fully diminished, we'd follow that same pattern all the way through. So root plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3 would take us back to the root, plus 3, plus 3. This is really fully diminishes. Every interval is just 3 half steps. Well, half diminished is 3 half steps, and then the last one goes 4. So it's not really fully diminished. It's only like half diminished. So this one right here is our G sharp, half diminished, to C sharp 7, to F sharp minor. Now, I've got a sneaking suspicion that coming in after this, when we try to loop this thing back around, this E right here is going to have to get cut out because we're going to not have enough time to get from the E to the G sharp half diminished to the C sharp 7 to the F sharp minor. I'll try it first, but I'm guessing it's going to just, they're all going to fly by too fast. It sounds something like this. That was not an A. Don't play with a microphone anyway. That wasn't terrible, actually. So I played the E, and then I played the G sharp, C sharp, F thing. It did feel a little bit rushed. I think if we take out this E right here, that might make that very interesting. And so we can go in our loop, understanding that we're going into an F sharp down here. I'm going to write it over here, though, so you can kind of see it all in one line. We're going into that F sharp. We're going to go C sharp 7, and we're going to go G sharp half diminished right here, because unfortunately, this substitution that leads into, this is all about going 2 to 5 to 1 of the F sharp minor. That just took up too much space, and so we had to kill the E in order to make room for it. So this is what we're looking at now. We just moved that 2, 5, 1 over to here for the loop. We're going to start off in a F sharp minor, go to a D major 7 to A major 7 to a G sharp half diminished to a C sharp 7 to an A. We'll try it. It needs to be it's got to be a G sharp, not a G flat. I kind of like that. And same thing right here. Cool. So that's just a 2-5, and already this song is starting. We added in the 7s and the 9s, and now we got just one single 2-5-1 going on. Let's do one more 2-5 though. Maybe we 2/5 into this A right here. Now, I am kind of picking these at random. However, I will recognize it as I see this as a whole big loop. After this F sharp minor, that takes over the place of this F sharp minor right here. So we're really going G half diminished, C sharp 7, and then F sharp minor, and then D. So I want to, after we make all those moves, after we make all those moves and land on the F sharp minor, I want to give us a little bit of time to like decompress, not have so much busyness in here, so we don't have just a chord on every single beat. We'll probably get there anyway, but I'm going to try to avoid it for now. So I'm going to give us a little bit of a time right in here where we don't have to move it all. And instead, we're going to 2/5 into this A. Pretend like A is 1. Now, in this case, A actually is 1 because we're in the key of A, but that's just pure coincidence. So we're going to go 5 and 2, just like we did before. That's going to kill this D, unfortunately, right here. We're not going to have any time to get to play that D. And the 2 to the 5 to the 1 of A major, because we're not playing into A minor. The A major then is going to be, did I pass by it? I did right here. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. So we're going to go from a B minor to an E. That'll lead us to the A. B minor to E to A. So back in here, B minor to E7, because all 5s are 7s, really, to A. So B minor, E to A. That'll sound something like this. No, it won't sound like that. Let's try that again. Okay, so there's some stuff in there. We could also 2/5 other stuff, but we're going to talk about the one that everybody loves doing. Well, actually, let's do the 3-6-2-5-1 or a 6-2-5-1. When we were going to do this 2-5-1 thing, we just backed out the 2 and went, never mind, just 5-1. And then we go, all right, so just 2-5-1. And then if you want to, you can just go 6-2-5-1, or you can go just 3-6-2-5-1. You can kind of extend this however long you have time to do. So let's do one 3-6-2-5. So the 3-6-2-5. Well, we see already we're gonna go 1 chord per beat. 3-6-2-5. Right in here, if we say, well, we're not gonna have time for this because we're gonna go 3 to a 6. This is already the 2 and the 5 and the 1. 3-6-2-5-1 of A is going to be, if we come down here, A, the 3 would be C sharp, the this is gonna be interesting. The 6 is gonna be F sharp, and then we've already got the 2-5-1. So C sharp minor, F sharp minor, right here. C sharp minor, F sharp minor. Okay, so that's going to be C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B minor, E7, A major 7. Now we've got something on pretty much every beat. Is that right? Man. Yeah, so I like that F sharp minor a lot more right here because that 2-5-1 leads into the F sharp minor. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. We could do it, but it doesn't sound good, and that's what we're here for. So we're going to get rid of that. Now, the 6, I just got rid of, say a little bit the thought process here. We've got this, we're going to put this guy back in here because now we have room for it. So now we're going from an F sharp minor to a F sharp minor. There's no point in having this guy right here because we're already playing that chord. The F sharp minor is the 6 of A, so we're already on the 6. This is like a 6-2-5-1 instead of a 3-6-2-5-1. The 3-6-2-5-1 just didn't happen to work out. So we're back to that other thing that we had. This is our loop right here, and now we can do everybody's favorite thing, which is tritone substitutions. So any, pretty much any cycle move, but especially any dominant chord, you can play. Dominant just means it just says 7. It just says a letter like a B or a C sharp or a G flat or a, whatever the name of the note is, and then a 7. There's no like triangles or symbols or minor signs or anything like that. It's just plain old a note and a 7. That's a dominant chord. That's just another name for a 7 chord. So then anywhere we have that, which I see one right here and I see one right here, we can tritone substitute those ones. So the tritone substitute is just taking any note. In this case, we've got an E that we're going to try to substitute. We had an E7. And now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half steps away and play that dominant chord instead. Why? For reasons that we can't explain right now. It has a lot to do with these 2 notes because these 2 notes are in both chords. These 2 are in the E7 and they're also in the B flat 7 that we're substituting in. So it has to do with those 2 notes, but that's all I'm going to say for right now. It just works. Trust me. Go 6 half steps away, play the dominant chord. So this one right here is going to be a B flat 7, and this one over here is going to be, instead of a C sharp, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be a G7. So we're going to play these notes right here. Here we could, again, maybe throw in a flat 9, especially if you've got a move that's going, if your 1 ends up being a minor chord, then it's a really common thing to play instead of a regular 9, to play a flat 9. Whatever. Either one should work. Let's try this thing with the track. Oops. And all we did so far is throw in some 2-5-1s and a couple tritone substitutions, and already this thing is starting to sound kind of funky. Let's come down here and do one more of these. We can. Oh, really? Okay. Yep. The next one is a 2-5 on a tritone substitution. This will be the last thing we do on this particular song. So this is anywhere you have a tritone substitution. For example, this G7, we can go right before that and play the, if pretending that this right here temporarily, a lot of this stuff that we do is temporarily pretending that this is the 5. The 2 of this 5 would be like a D minor 7, like a 2 to a 5, and that would be from this chart down here. If you go down here and you say, all right, where on this chart is a G the 5? We'd find it right here, and then our question is, what 2 leads into that? This is the 2 that leads into that thing right there. So we could play a D minor 7, and then we could do the same thing on this one. This is also a tritone substitute, so we can put a 2 in front of this one, pretending that the B flat is our 5. The 2 from the chart would be an F minor 7. This is getting crazy now. So this is a B minor, F minor 7, B flat to A. Then we're going to go G half diminished, then D, G7, F sharp minor. Let's see if I can play this thing in time. That's a lot of chords to cram in there. messed that all up. One more time. I got lost in there. So there's some stuff in there. We pretty much just used the concept of 2 5s and the concept of tritones. We stuck the two together and we came up with some, I think, interesting alternate harmonies, and we really haven't even changed the structure of being in the key of A and going from the 6 to the 4 to the 1 to the 5 in the key of A, but just with a couple additional substitutions. We haven't had to change any keys or anything like that. So overall, as far as reharmonizations go, this was actually a pretty mild reharmonization where we just took a couple of little techniques and made some, I think, really cool sounding chords. If this was all too much, maybe just change some of your chords from regular chords to 7s and 9s, and that should help out a whole lot. And once you can do that stuff, then we're ready to change chords around. But either way, send me what you come up with. I'm sure you've got other great ideas of how you could reharmonize this. We've got a big old long list of other stuff that we didn't even get to that hopefully we'll be able to cover in one of our other songs. And for now, good luck, have fun, talk to you soon.